What's up, guys? I'm just going to show you this recruitment agency automation that I created. So I'll just show you a quick demo. The applicant will fill out their form. City. And then the role they're applying for, so the admin. And then put in your CV. Cover letter. So New Zealand citizen. I'm just going to submit that. And this agent right here will analyze the CV and the cover letter. And then it'll just decide if it wants to proceed or reject the application. So if it rejects, then it's going to send a email to the applicant and just say that probably won't be proceeding with the application. And then it'll trigger the call to the applicant for like an interview. So this is what the call would sound like.
Hello, this is James from Top Recruit.
Am I speaking with John Doe?
Yes.
Great. I'm calling regarding your resume. Do you have a couple of minutes to discuss your application?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Now, I'd like to ask some specific questions about your experience as it relates to this administrative role. 1. Can you describe your experience with Microsoft Office Suite, particularly Excel and Outlook?
Yeah, I can. I've managed multiple,
Please go ahead. I'm all ears.
multiple projects using Excel, focusing on data analysis and automated workflows. For example, I used VLOOKUP to cross-reference client data and create dynamic reports. In Outlook, I've scheduled meetings, managed calendars, and used folders to organize tasks. I also leverage templates for email responses and calendar reminders to stay on top of deadlines.
That sounds impressive, John. It seems like you have a solid grasp of both Excel and Outlook. 2. Walk me through how you've managed calendars and scheduled meetings in previous roles.
In my last role, I used Outlook's calendar to schedule recurring meetings and set reminders for pending tasks. I prioritized meetings based on urgency and assigned deadlines. For example, I coordinated with the team to reschedule a critical meeting due to a client's vacation and used a shared calendar to track everyone's availability.
Excellent.
It sounds like you have a good system in place for managing calendars and ensuring everyone is on the same page.
3. Tell me about a time when you had to handle multiple administrative tasks with competing deadlines. How did you prioritize?
Sorry, hold on. Can you ask that question?
No problem
please?
3. Tell me about a time when you had to handle multiple administrative tasks with competing deadlines. How did you prioritize?
Oh yeah, so during the school project, I had to juggle 3 tasks: managing student records, preparing materials for a presentation, and coordinating with the tech team. I used a to-do list and flagged deadlines in Outlook to prioritize. I delegated tasks to team members and focused on high-impact tasks first, ensuring I met all deadlines without compromising quality.
That's a great example, John.
It shows your ability to prioritize effectively and work collaboratively with a team. 4. How do you typically organize and maintain filing systems, whether digital or physical?
I keep digital files and folders organized by department and date, using tags for quick retrieval. For physical files, I file by client name and use a color-coded system. I also use cloud storage to sync files across devices and ensure accessibility. Regular audits help me maintain order and ensure all documents are accessible to the team.
It sounds like you have a very organized approach to both digital and physical filing systems, which is essential for an administrative role. 5. This role involves supporting multiple team members. Can you share an approach you've used to balance different priorities from various stakeholders?
Sure. I use a shared task list to track responsibilities and deadlines. I regularly check in with team members to align on priorities and adjust as needed. For example, I prioritized a client's request over a team deadline by redefining the project scope and communicating clearly to ensure everyone is on the same page.
That's a thoughtful approach, John. It's great to hear how you adapt to changing priorities while keeping communication open with your team. Thank you for sharing your experiences with me today. Based on our conversation, it sounds like you have a strong background for this administrative role. I'll be passing your information along to the hiring team for the next steps. Is there anything else you would like to ask or add before we wrap up?
No, that's about it. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you for your time, John. Have a great day.
So what it did, the core analysis would come through, and then the transcript will get fed to this agent. What the agent does is provides another score. So the total score was 79 out of 100. And then employer recommendation is proceed to skills assessment stage. What it does then is in this Airtable for just the admin role, update to that, and then it adds the score. So what you could do with like a lot of applicants, you can just filter through the score, and then what would happen there is it'll send a email to yourself or like a staff member. So yeah, I got an email just before, I think it was here. John Doe, role admin, recommendation, proceed to skills assessment stage, recommend for second interview. Exceptional technical capabilities in Excel, Outlook align well with role requirements. Organizational methods show strategic thinking suitable for office management. Candidate demonstrates strong foundational skills for administrative work but requires further evaluation of professional experience, depth, and logistical compatibility. And then the call here is just a call recording, so if we click on this.
Hello, this is James from Top Recruit.
Am I speaking with John Doe?
Yes.
Great.
And you can just go through the call if you want to. And you can add more stuff in the email or in the Airtable, but this is just what I've put in. So yeah, I'm creating this in N8N, so put a video on how to self-host it. You can just come to n8n.io and just sign in or create an account. Once you get in, just create a workflow. First step you're going to want to add is a is a scheduled trigger, so it runs off every minute, but it would be better if you had like a form just attached to it and it will just run off like a webhook or something. So the next stage would be to search your Airtable record. So if you haven't already, come to Airtable and create a table like this. So the name, the phone number, the email, city, the job that you're applying for, the upload CV, cover letter, status, outcome, alternative jobs. And so once you've got that, you can just create your form from that. So go to forms and you just go new form, and you can see it's already got all the stuff from that table. And I've just got 3 other tables here for the jobs that the person could apply for, just to filter through the applications that made it through. Your next node is going to be a Airtable search record node, and it's just going to be from the table that you just created. And then the formula is going to be status equals, and then just 2 speech marks, because we want it to trigger when the status is empty. Yeah, and just have it on return all. So the next node is going to be a Superbase get row node. And the reason why I have this is because I've created a Superbase. So I've created a Superbase. It just has the job title and then the prompt. So you can just use like, a different table sort of provider for this. I just want to try and learn Superbase. What it does is it takes the role that the person's applying for, right here. And then what it does is it gets the row from that value, right? So the value here is admin, and it's going to get this prompt right here. So if we test that, you can see that the job title and the prompt comes through here. And then the next node is just going to be a request. And what this request is, it's basically just getting the CV. So in your Airtable, when you submit your form, the CV is going to come through in a link like this. You just need to put that in the URL, and the method's going to be a get. If we go to this link, right, it's just going to be the CV. And so this just allows us to have access to that. The next node we're going to add is a extract from file. So I'm going to send it through. And so what you want to have is operation extract from PDF. Put binary field is going to be data, because this comes through as data. And so if we test the step here, you can see that it comes up with all the stuff about the PDF, but it comes out with the text as well. And so this is the text we're going to use to feed to the AI agent. And so the next step is going to be an AI agent. I'm just using OpenRouter. I think I'm using GPT-4 and Mini. There's definitely better ones out there. I'm just using this because it's cheap. And I've just got a structured output parser that just does all the scoring and the assessment. Just copy this if you want, or create your own scoring system. And so for the AI agent, what I've got is I just went ahead and fixed all that. So the prompt from the user message is evaluate this person's application. And I've just got all the data from the Airtable node. So that's the name, the phone number, the email, the city, the citizenship status, and all they're applying for. And to get that, you just need to come back to this Airtable node and just plug in everything. So the name, the phone number, all that stuff, phone, email, city, all the stuff that you want the agent to analyze. And for the cover letter, it's going to be this cover letter. And then for the CV, you're going to get that in extract from file. So you just put the text in here. If you look on this right side, you can see everything how the agent would see it. And then the prompt is from the Superbase node. So we get the prompt here and we'll just map it out in the system message. And so you can see the prompt here. It's got like the evaluation criteria, and it matches with the output parser. You can have your own separate workflows for different jobs, but I just think like if it's an automation, then you'd probably want it to be like automated and dynamic. And so let's play that through. This next node is going to be an Airtable update record node. And yeah, it's going to be that same table from before, all applicants. What you're just going to have the ID record matching on is the ID from first Airtable node, and just this ID right here. And then what we're updating is the status. We're going to update it to done. And then the outcome, we're going to update the outcome. So recommendation decision. So this decision right here, we're just going to paste it in there. And then we're going to put in the alternative jobs as well. So this is for like, that's just for like future jobs that might be suitable for this candidate. So we'll play that through. And yeah, you can see it updated to done, and then it gave the alternative jobs, roles that require advanced skills level in project management or IT support. And the next node we're going to add is a switch. And here what we're going to put is the JSON fields outcome and expression. And we're going to put strings contains, and not as equal to, but as contains. Because as we can see here, if we come to the AI agent, we can see that the recommendation is proceed to call. The reason why I've got it as contains is because if we have it as is equal to, then it needs to be that exact thing, right? Like, but if we have contains, then it'll still filter through properly. So yeah, so have the JSON fields outcome contains reject, and then add another rule, have it as proceed with the same string. And then so what we would have on these two different paths. So for the rejection route, I'm just going to send an email, and it's going to be to the email that the user applied with. And in the subject, I'm just going to say, let me reconnect this. And it's just going to say, the subject is just going to say, John Doe application for admin. So that's the applying for. That's in the Airtable as well. So you come down here, applying for. So, and then so the email type is just going to be text. Just going to say, dear John Doe. So the name that we used before. So dear John Doe, thanks for taking time to apply for the position, and the applying for again. And then unfortunately, it is unlikely we will proceed with your application. Thanks, recruitment agency. So that's the rejection route. And then if it gets accepted, we're creating a phone call to Retell. Click on send headers. I'm going to use the fields below. So the first header is going to be authorization, and the value is going to be bearer space, and then your API key. To get your API key, go back to Retell, come to this left hand side, create an API key, and then copy it, and then just paste it in after bearer. So API key here. So bearer space and then API key. The second header is just going to be content type, and then the value is going to be application/JSON. And so you're going to want to click on send body. Body content type is going to be JSON, and specify body is going to be using JSON. This is what you're going to want to send, or anything else you might want to send. So the from number, the to number. So the to number will be the phone number that they applied with. So the from number is going to be your agent number. So to get that, you're going to come to phone numbers, and then see this phone number right here, or whatever your agent number is hooked up is. So yeah, it would have to be an outbound, because it's obviously an outbound call to the applicant. And so you just copy that number, and then you just hard code it in here. So like, something like that. And then for the agent ID, this is my recruitment agency voice agent, so I'll copy that, and then I just paste it in there. And then the dynamic variables, you're going to send the name, the email, the city, and the role. And then the required is just going to be the to number. So that's that workflow. You guys already heard the call, but this is the voice agent that I've got. So it's just a multi-prompt agent in Retell. So when you come to agents, you go create an agent, and you just click on multi-prompt, and you go start from blank. This is a pretty simple one. So the role is, Yo James, a professional recruitment agent for Top Recruit. Ask is to conduct the interview professionally, being warm and friendly while gathering essential information to determine if they should proceed to the next stage. Important guidelines, follow the script. It's okay to mention that you're an AI. Listen carefully to responses and ask appropriate follow-up questions. Be conversational but stay on topic. Take notes of qualifications and info, so you don't have to add that in actually. And then just this last part down here, might just chuck in context. So you're calling a candidate named name who applied for the role position. And so in the multi-prompt stage, what I've basically got is the intro. When we send the call over from NADM, remember we're sending over the role, and so that'll become a dynamic variable. If they say that they have time, then it'll transition to the role that got sent from the automation. So for this one, the role was admin. So if you remember, it went through this, and then it transitioned to the admin, and it's just got a prompt here. It's only got 5 questions. Obviously, your one might be a little bit more comprehensive. And then once that's done, there's closing, and that's that. For the functions, just like in core, no knowledge base, speech settings, responsive one, call settings. So good to have a voicemail. I just didn't have many on here. And then in-call and silence 30, max call duration 9 minutes, post-call analysis. So I've got no post-call analysis, just the webhooks. So now we're going to start the next workflow, which is just this post-call workflow. So what we're going to do first is create a webhook, and this is going to be a post. Response is going to be immediately. So just grab your production URL here and just paste it in this agent level webhook URL. From there, we're going to add a if node. What we're going to grab is we're going to come to the webhook, and we're going to grab the event, and then we're going to put as equal to core analyzed. The next step is going to be another Superbase get row node. So let's send that through. And so this is a different table in Superbase. So you can see I've got CV and cover letter prompts here, and then I've got a post call prompt here. So this is just another prompt, but just for a post call analysis. So you can see here the job title, right, was admin. You can see it's all lowercase because that's the way it gets sent through from Retell. So you obviously connect your Superbase account again. create a table like this. The name or ID is just going to be job title, and the value is going to be the job, right? And it needs to match exactly how it is in the job title, so no spaces and all lowercase. And so what that does now is, like the CV and cover letter analysis workflow, is going to get the prompt for the transcript analysis agent. So the next node is just going to be a get time between dates. So the start date is going to be the start timestamp. So if we come in here, so if we come here to the if core analyzed, and then we go to start timestamp, then we just grab that and we map it in for the start date, and then the end timestamp we map it in the end date, and then the units is going to be second, and the output field name is going to be duration. Just get us the duration of the call. So you can see this one was 240 seconds. The next one is just going to be getting the current date, which is pretty simple. The operation is just get current date. You can include the current time if you want, but I'm just gonna, and then output the field name as current date. And the reason why we just get these is just for like reference. Now the next step is in agent. So this is a transcript analysis agent. So for the prompt, we're just gonna put assess this applicant and come up with a conclusion / outcome. And then so you got the transcript. So come to your webhook. Close all of these. Actually, just search for it. Transcript. So I'll get it from the webhook. So transcript here. And so if you come in here, you can see all the transcripts. So this is the whole call. And then in the system message, I've just got all this stuff here about the scoring. And then the prompt that we got from Superbase here is just based on the job, right? So this is just role specific evaluation. So based on that role, the next node is going to be Airtable, and it's going to be create or update record. And then if you come back to the Superbase, you can see here I've got a table ID. That's just the ID of this table. So if we come to admin, you can see the table ID up here is the same as the table ID, and that's just so we can dynamically filter through the different tables in this space. Yeah, and so what you're going to do here is, so the table is going to be by ID. Back to the Superbase node here, and you'll see that it output the table ID as well. So you're just going to put that in the table ID. Yep, and then so we're going to use the name to match, and then the score is just going to be from the transcript analysis agent. So close these candidate metrics, and then overall assessment. The score, you're just going to put the total score here. You're going to put the status. Well, you can put whatever you want, right? Like you can put all the strengths, the concerns, the different metrics. So you can put whatever you want. Just keep it simple. And then so the status will be recommend. You come down here to employer recommendation. You're going to put recommend, which is yes, and then the outcome. So you're going to put the decision. So decision here. And then for the notes, I've just got the highlights, and then the rationale down here. And I've got the core recording going through. So to get that, come to your webhook. Underneath transcript with tool calls, get your recording URL and just paste it in there. Just got the current date from the current date that we created, and then the duration from the duration that we created in seconds. So if I send that through, we'll see it'll update this right here. And you can see the notes of the call and stuff, the status, the outcome, the date contacted, and then just the duration. And then what we can do here is just sort A to Z, and it'll just filter through the highest score. Sweet. So the next node we're going to add is just a Gmail node. And this Gmail is just going to be to like the recruiter or the person behind the scenes. The subject is just going to be recommendation for the name. So come back to the webhook. So name under LLM dynamic variables. So you just didn't. Sorry, it's actually recommendation for the admin role, and then it's going to be a dash, and then the applicant's name. So you can see a recommendation for admin role John Doe, and then in the message, just got the name and then the role, those same two, and then I just got the recommendation. So outputs from the agent, so you can put whatever you want in this email. So I've just got recommend. So you can see over here it says yes, so yes, and then I've just got a comma, and then overall assessment decision. So recommendation, yes, overall assessment, and then key streams, key concerns, and then the decision here. So you can see over here it says proceed to next interview round. So it's got yes, proceed to next interview round, and then I've just got the total score here, and then got the highlights from the employee recommendation. So the highlights here, excellent MS Office expertise, and then also got the rationale right here. So John demonstrated highly relevant skills in the major administrative areas required for the position. And then I just got the core here with the core recording. So I sent it through. Yeah, so you can see here, recommendation, yes, proceed to next interview. 93 out of 100. Pretty good score. And then obviously the rationale, or the highlights and the rationale. Yeah, so that's how you create that automation. Obviously you can create it like more complex and more catered to your agency. This is just something that I just created. The end has still got human in the loop, which is just good. I think it's a pretty good automation. Obviously you can add like a lot more to it. This is just a very simple way of doing it. If you like the video, then like the video. Comment something else you might want to see, if the video was good or if the video was bad. If you want to use my white labeled version of Go High Level, I'll have a link down below. If you guys want this automation or workflow, then yeah, connect with me on LinkedIn or just comment automation on this video, and I'll try my best to get it sent through to you. And yeah, subscribe.